Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It is September of 2020, and what a hell of a year has it been. Let's talk about what's coming in terms of reviews. Well, first and foremost, the gun reviews are going to appear in November, which is good timing, seeing as how that's after the election, and hopefully firearms will become more available again once people stop panic buying. Hopefully. Which is hard to see. And I'm waiting till then primarily because I have finally teched up my action camera, the GoPro clone. I picked up one just a week or so ago. It's substantially better than the one I've been using, although the first couple of gun reviews will have footage from that old action camera. The new one, though, can shoot in 4K. I'm not going to be shooting in 4K. It's still going to be 1080p, but it's kind of cool that it can do that. It also has a slow-mo mode as well, which I am going to make use of if it looks good. And I think that'll be kind of neat seeing the firearm reciprocating, or me working the bolt or working the lever in slow-mo. I can't wait to work on that. Let's see. I've also got a little Chinese clone console that I really want to review. It's basically a knockoff GBA SP, but it's substantially more powerful than an SP would ever have hoped to have been, because apparently it can run Quake 2 and Hexen and a few other PC games. It even has Rise of the Triad on there. I found that quite by random, actually. YouTube recommendations are not all bad. I wouldn't have known that thing existed outside of a YouTube recommendation. So that's going to be a review probably in November as well. Now, this month's review is going to come out just before the end of the month, and it's going to be Medal of Honor Frontline, ladies and gentlemen. The PS2 version, not the Xbox version. Working on that with Akbar Fan, who I also worked on Rogue Leader with. Cool dude all around. Does some good work. So I'm looking forward to getting that video out. As of today, as you can probably tell, I've been recording the video footage for that particular review. That review is going to take a little while to get done, but it should be fairly straightforward enough, I would hope. It's a fairly long game, clocking in at about 8 hours, which isn't too bad for a PS2 first-person shooter. And then, of course, it would have been a lot longer if I hadn't just been hitting the quick save key over and over again, because goddamn is that game hard. For October, we're going to have Alien Isolation. Already got a bunch of gameplay footage recorded as of today. That game is really pretty bloody good. I mean, I'm glad I've waited this long to actually play it, because I really wanted a sci-fi first-person game, and that is an absolutely excellent sci-fi first-person game. One of the things I'm going to try to add in that review, though, is a mini review of the Alien Isolation book, which is about Last Jedi quality in terms of writing and plot. You basically take the excellent character of Amanda Ripley and turn her into a girl with daddy issues. I'm not joking. That's just sad. And originally, Ripley wasn't even supposed to have gotten divorced. In the original Alien novelization from the 70s, Amanda Ripley was supposed to have had an actual father, but of course in this book she does not. Also, she acts like she's afraid of everything, which really kind of annoys me, because in the game, while she can be afraid, she takes it quite well. She has that stiff upper lip, which I quite like. It's just kind of annoying that the writer chose to make her, well, kind of wimpy in comparison to her video game counterpart. I think that's probably done more for So Just points more than anything else. I've seen this kind of writing before in So Just books, where for whatever reason the So Just writer wants to make the female character utterly terrified of men in an attempt to make men look like dangerous beasts. The book is, Alien Isolation, the book, is very unflattering to the Australian dude that you meet early in the game. That character is actually pretty tragic. I'm going to mention this in the review. You know, on Sevastopol Station, everybody on that station wants to kill you. He doesn't. He literally talks to Amanda Ripley. Everyone else you meet tries to shoot you. So clearly that dude must have been a fairly good guy to begin with to maintain his sanity through all of that. But the book, you know, basically implies that he wants to sexually assault her. It's pretty bad stuff. I couldn't even finish it. It was just such an awful book. But Alien Isolation, damn good game. Really quite like the writing on Amanda Ripley. Everything you'd want from a female character. Let's see. Book reviews are coming back in October. I've got 6 scripts ready to go. I just have not had time to record any of them. We've got 2 rando books. Third Wave Eidolon, I've mentioned this a bunch. It's that Soul Zombie book, which is awesome. And Team Omega, which is that superhero novel where a Special Forces team has to try to take down superheroes that go nuts. That's also an awesome book. We've got a bunch of Star Wars books. Truce at Bakura, I'm re-reviewing that book. Also, I'm reviewing each book in the Han Solo Adventures trilogy. That book is damn good. Well, those books are. I read it initially in its omnibus form, so it is just the one book. It's amazing what those old writers did in so small of space. Like, a lot of these modern books take ages to actually do anything, whereas you can have a lot of plots going on in these Han Solo adventure books. There's a lot of stuff going on in just like 200 pages. It's amazing how much they get accomplished. Those books, despite being from the 80s, are just so good. I cannot wait for you guys to see those reviews, because if you haven't read the Han Solo Adventures, you gotta pick them up, because they are... Star Wars did the adventure concept better than just about any other sci-fi universe. I mean, it was able to be serious, but it was also able to be fun. It didn't have to make 100% sense all the time. I mean, let's face it. You know, if we want to go hard SF, the lightsaber doesn't make any sense. You know, why don't you just shoot him? But Star Wars goes a long way towards explaining why it makes sense for a Jedi to carry one. You can use the Force and use some precog to, block the blaster bolts. So then you have, a Space Knight with a laser sword, which is awesome. There's a few things about Star Wars that doesn't make a lot of sense, but we're going to ignore those. It's a fun universe that I don't think really has been duplicated yet. Now, there have been some books that have tried, and some that actually come very close to succeeding to rival the adventurous aspects of Star Wars. I'm actually reading one of those books right now called Her Brother's Keeper by Mike Kupari. It's a universe where it's half past the future, and some space Scots have to hire a bunch of space Texans to go rescue a space archaeologist, which is pretty... See, that doesn't sound like the most amazing of plots, but it's actually something that's entertaining that one actually could care about, versus they're going to explore the cosmos, which is more boring than you would ever think. I've tried to read a bunch of hard SF books. Most of them are just long info dumps and screeds. I'm also reading another book called Sufficiently Advanced Technology, which is another Nuttall book. That's one of our favorite writers on the channel, where you have the future, which is basically the culture from the Ian Banks novels, just less ridiculous. And you have a fantasy setting. So humanity from the space future finds this fantasy setting, and they're trying to figure out how all the magic works, and they're not sure if Cthulhu's just fucking with them. Pretty well written and pretty entertaining nonetheless. So, let's see, what else we got? We're going to continue our live stream series on Titanfall 2. The old Titty Drop 2 is a damn good game, even if it is a bit silly at times. Going to finish that, and then might go back to some of the games I kind of started but didn't finish. Also, I started playing Far Cry 5. If you haven't played that game yet, I highly recommend taking a look at it, because it is, I gotta say, it's a little better than Far Cry 3, but not quite as good as Far Cry Blood Dragon, but then again, what can be? There's just so many upgrade paths and things of that nature, although like in real life, once you get an AR with a red dot, you basically are just death incarnate. And there's just so much to do in that game. It's like all these civilians need rescuing. It's like, can't you people rescue yourselves? Although, if you get a high enough rating, if you destroy enough outposts, you can actually have towns liberate themselves. So there's that. So let's see what else we got. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this month. 2020 is, oh man, I am not looking forward to the end of 2020, but who knows? Never say never. Maybe it will all work out in the end. I'll definitely be working towards that on my end. And so I'm GeneralLotz, wishing you good Han Solo adventures and good Far Cry 5, whatever makes you happy.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue bringing you this great content.